There we go. I don't think I need or maybe I will. I will leave it there. Why am I so dark? It's crazy. Oh yeah. Yeah. That's right. Uh Summer is over. There we go. The light is going down, hence low light conditions. Hey Amir. Yeah, I've given up on Inktober, I think. Screw it. I'm not interested in it anymore. Not this year. I did drooling yesterday. 2 drooling guys. But nah. I'm not feeling Inktober this year. So I gonna skip it. I'm gonna like at THU. I was listening to Ryan Lang talking, and he didn't really do like show anything in particular, but I was inspired by it. Just kind of my own train of thoughts, and those train of thoughts was just do more what you like. I've been experimenting a lot with different techniques and so on, and I think I'll just keep doing a little bit more of things I find fun. So that's, I think, I'm gonna do instead of Inktober. Any Rada, welcome. Welcome back. Welcome back. Hey Concept Sam, how's it going? How's it going? Yeah. So that's it. That's the plan. Plan is to do um, more comfort zone stuff. Um, yeah. So today I will do Dark Elf. Hey Tiana, welcome. Yeah, I'm not gonna stream Inktober anymore. I don't feel it this year. It's not my cup of tea this year. Yeah, Concept Sam. I decided not to do Inktober. Um, Biggest reason is I don't feel it. I'm not enjoying it, and as it's not. There's no means to the end other than I drew with ink. Um, I'm gonna skip it this year. And like I mentioned, I was listening to Ryan Lang at TSU, and he kind of made me remember. Let's start a timer and let's start drawing. He reminded me of like the importance of doing what you love. You know, like his talk. I mentioned it at the beginning of the stream. His talk per se wasn't anything in particular talking about the importance of being true to yourself and all these. But he kind of just talked that he his journey and things like that, and it just reminded me more than taking things literally from his talk. It just kind of made me myself think a little bit more, and yeah, it reminded me that I need to make sure that I do what's fun, right, and keep pushing that aspect, because when you have fun, you're also inspired, and it's fun. like in all these warm-ups, it's also fun to challenge yourself with different techniques and different random topics and things like that. But it's also um, it's not the same, right? It's not at all the same like just doing the things you love. Uh, but all those things as well can be boring after a while when you're only doing the same thing over and over. But for the time being, I feel like I haven't spent a lot of time um, doing things that I like truly love lately. Like I finished illustration for THU competition. That was great. That was a lot of fun. Um, so I think I'll spend a few warm ups just having fun, you know. And I felt now that um, Inktober didn't bring me fun. Hey Janae, how's it going? Good morning. Concept Sam, yeah, absolutely. And also, I'm not a huge ink fan. Like, it's not my bread and butter. I do it with a ballpoint pen generally. Like that's where I have the most fun. But yeah, this year just I didn't feel it. So I'm not gonna do any more Inktober. Hey Holmes, how's it going? Good morning. Any rate, how was Promised Land? It looked really good. I'm really intrigued by it. Like I think it could be a really cool workshop to go to, and a lot of people are praising it, like how good it is and so on. So that's great. Hopefully, you know, they'll grow and get bigger and better. And maybe it's a question now of they don't need to grow bigger. Maybe they just need to keep up the momentum. You know. Hey Janae, I'm all good. I'm all good. I feel inspired. Some cool things happening at work. Um, we're helping one client out that is searching for clear path. We've been helping them for quite some time, and they're finally starting to make decisions internally about what they want. So now we can actually start moving forward, which is great. Amir, yeah, Goro Fujita's Inktober stuff is cool. It's not ink though, obviously, um, but nevertheless, it's very nice. He's a really good artist. I've always enjoyed his work ever since the good old days of Sijin. He always had that. You know, he worked hard, obviously, but he always had that eye for cool details, cool shapes, and so on. Concept Sam. Mm, no, not in particular. It's not like here go to business seminar because mostly everyday stuff is done by the CEO of the company. You know, he does most of the business together with his wife, which leaves me to focus on the art, the team, help the team out, deal with the contracts, and he does more the business. And because I'm just the lead slash art director, and not so much the business. Yeah. But that's one thing that I love about Opus Arts is the kind of idea that we are all grown ups. Take responsibility for what you do and so on, which is cool. Hey Eric, how's it going? Eric. Mm. I can see this helmet design in my head, but I can't nail it because I'm, doing it fast. But I'm gonna leave it like it is now because it's kinda as I want it. Yeah, but like again, though, back to Opus Arts. I love the idea of, you know, personal responsibility and being a grown up, and it makes a much more relaxed environment. But it's still, you need to perform, you need to do what you need to do. Uh, it's not like you can just do whatever you want. But there's a difference of free reign versus personal responsibility and manning up for your own actions. Hey Zealin, how's it going? Yeah, as you can see, Zealin, I gave up on Inktober. I don't feel it. And this new sketching technique, I mean, 9 minutes in, I'm not finished, but you can already starting to see a little bit more of my intentions with the drawing, which is cool. Which I is a part of what I love about this kind of amalgamation of steps, I guess you can say it, where you can just focus on design a lot more freely, and you can get some cool stuff down rather fast with a dirty brush. So that's kind of what I'm burning for at the moment. Um, like this sensation of painting. It's a lot more comfort zone. It's a lot more pure creative bliss. So that's what I feel like I should be doing rather than forcing myself to do Inktober. Tiana, the warm ups. It's a mandatory warm up at the studio. So everyone that comes in the morning, they have to sit down. The first thing they do for half an hour, and start being creative. And the idea behind it is that you're gonna start liberating yourself, and you're not gonna be afraid of making mistakes, and you can try out techniques, you can try out different approaches to things or things you feel like you're lacking. And as it's just 30 minutes, uh, you have to be efficient. You also have to be have a clear line of thoughts what you're doing, because if you're not, after those 30 minutes, you're gonna fail miserably, right? But as long as you have an intent with the 30 minutes, you're going to be able to do some interesting things. And a lot of artists, at the studio, like Quentin here or Henry, another guy. He used to be here, but he's not anymore. They are all testing things out all the time and doing studies and learning things, and the amount of progress that they're doing is immense. So obviously the warm up idea is functioning. It's liberating, and you can experiment with techniques and things you're uh, thinking about. And then when these half an hour is up, we tackle client work. And because we share the warm ups every day with each other, we can clearly see also what we're up to, what we're thinking, lessons we're learning, and we usually, when there's something significant to comment on, we talk about it and say like, oh, this is the things I've been exploring, this is the results. I'm gonna, maybe try out lights next week, all week, and we see the results, we see what the person is thinking and experimenting with, and it's clear progress. So it's a company-wide thing everyone has to do. So I decided, as I'm doing these warm-ups every day, why not share them outside of the studio? Hence, this 30-minute stream. Hey, Sharsta. Yeah, everyone in the studio, after the half an hour, we post them and we discuss them if there's anything to discuss. If not, we just uh, go to work, so to speak. But it's a really, really efficient way of learning things, and it's quite evident also in half an hour if you understand a subject or understand a technique or not. You know, if you just keep messing around and you have no idea what you're doing, it's gonna show, because in 30 minutes you gotta make decisive decisions in order to progress. And that's really, it's a very interesting thing to see. There we go. There's Quentin, one of the artists. Um, how many people, Eric? I think total of one, two, three, four, five, maybe. We used to be a few more, but some have left the other studios and greener pastures. Yeah, I have a home office. I work on home from day to day, but we have a lot of communication at the studio, so it doesn't matter. And I try to now and then show myself there, but it's not very often. Like I said, the atmosphere of Opus is fantastic, where we're all grown-ups, you know. Amir, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. It's a really fascinating to look back as well. I mean, I think this is third or fourth, no, third year of warm-ups, and quite a while ago, some of the artists as well, they gave each other challenges, like what they thought someone was weak at, they told the other artists, like, okay, today your warm up is going to be color or light or anatomy or copy this photo, you know. Uh, so they set challenges to each other, what they had to do on the warm ups, which was also quite cool. which is also a great way to practice something you're not comfortable with, or the spot is your weakness. You know, that you have to do something. But yeah, studio book. That's kind of cool. That's a great idea. It's worth thinking about, I think, because of you know, personally, I have a lot of warm ups, and there's a lot of warm ups over shared between all the artists, and also some past artists that have already left the studio. But that would still be a nice thing for them, you know. I mean, anyone leaving, it's sad that they're leaving. You know, we don't hate the guys for the people for leaving. It's the nature of the beast. Ideally, we would love them to stay, but again, again, the whole idea about being a grown up. If you want to leave, you're making that decision. You know, obviously, we would love for them to stay, but you shouldn't make those kind of decisions lightly, and you should stand by them. You know. But then again, being a grown up, you don't gonna have any bad thoughts about the people leaving. Why would you? This is counterproductive, you know, for the world. Eric, yeah, that's a cool way to do it. That's a fun way to do it. A friend of mine, Patri Balonovsky, I think his name is. Fucking me and names, crazy. Uh, but he does like a sketch trade usually. He gives line art and he says paint it, and give me something, and I will paint it. And usually that ends up some really cool results. Balonovsky, I don't know. He has a really cool Pixar style. Hey, Neo Pathogen. What's up? Welcome. You stretch. Oh man. 20 minutes, 10 minutes left. 20 minutes down. It's going good. It's fun stuff. I like this way of sketching. It gives me joy because it's effortless. You know, you can focus on the fun stuff. Um, just design something and not having to worry about being too uncomfortable with technique or something. Thank you very much, Neopatogen. Um, some good old warm up. You seem new here. It's a 30-minute stream, hence the timer at the bottom of the counter. So I'm 2/3 in to this drawing, and at the end of the time, we will move on with our day. I will most likely raid someone. We can continue watching someone else do art. Hopefully something inspiring. And then tomorrow, at the same time, I will come online again and rinse and repeat. and you're very welcome to join in every day. Join us. Yeah, Wanamir. That was a really cool thing that he did. Like they shared across the studio and they had to do something with it and they took turns doing it, which was was great. It's like the what's it called? Indian whisper game. Is that what it's called? You say one thing, whisper it. You say it only once, and then um, the next person whispers it, and then they only say it one time, and then you keep whispering and whispering until you reach the end, and then the person says what they heard. And usually, you start with saying a sentence with one way, and then it ends up being something completely different. And that's kind of like what So Much Monsters did, but with art. They started with one thing, kept passing it on, and in the end, um, you know, roll with time. 7 minutes left. Hey, Narmit. Well, thank you very much. Broken telephone. Ah. Hey, Tihana. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, it's fun to paint this way. Um, it's a great way to get an idea down. You don't need to worry too much about everything. You can just relax. Obviously, it's practice. Um, it doesn't come for free, but the joy of painting this way, where you rely on process quite a lot, is very nice and liberating. And just lean on the fact that you can trust the way I'm comfortable drawing, right? Norme, uh, if I use this workshop for concepts, this workflow, yeah, I do that sometimes. It depends really on the client, but definitely. Some clients obviously want line art, and then you can't do this technique because it doesn't lend itself to line art that well because it's purely um, paint. There's not a single line involved in that sense. Um, but for clients who are happy with getting this style, absolutely. I mean, some clients are reliant on a style, that all concepts has to be done in line art because that's the direction the game is going or the project is going, and then obviously you gotta respect that. You can't just go screw your art direction. I'm doing it my way, right? But if it's cool with the client, yeah, I'm doing it. Usually doing it this way. But I have adopted the technique a bit lately, and I found the best way to do things, which I'm kind of showing you guys now, um, where you can be a lot more suggestive, and scaling it up is easier in terms of rendering effort when you approach it this way. Because you go big to small, undefined to defined, right? So the path is linear. You don't need to guess anything. It's quite straightforward, and you just need to have fun, right? Design something, lean on your knowledge. Eric, yeah, absolutely. That's the whole idea. You stop worrying about the technical aspects and just have fun. Um, just have fun painting. That's kind of cool. Screws all the tones over though, but let's see. Blue is quite nice. Is it too much maybe? Let's erase. Yeah, I kind of like it. Kind of like it. Neopathogen. In this approach, yes. This approach requires big to small. Grayscale, I mean, sorry, grayscale. Because when you start with colors too much, you're gonna get distracted by the colors. So first, being very loose and liberated with grayscale, you know that all you need to do is think about marks and volumes, and not care about all the other things. So this way, it's problematic free approach. The problem is when you start having to do conscious recalls, and you're extracted from your what's it called? Implicit mind state. You're autopilot. So as long as you stay in autopilot, you're good. So that's why I break up the process with grayscale first, because I can just have fun. I don't need to actively think about what I'm doing. I can just create. And obviously, the more you practice color, the more automatic it is. But for me, at the moment, when I use colors, it's going to be a lot of things that I have to keep in check, rather than just be completely free. Like, is it the right hue? Is the right tone? Is it, where should the color switch, or whatever? It's not automatic for me. So grayscale does that aspect. It lets me just create. Eric Mui. Yeah, exactly. Hence this style. Hence why I want to have fun like this. Because what? Half an hour and I got a pretty decent design down, where you understand the character, right? And then And the next 30 minutes, it's just pure cosmetics to make it work. So tomorrow I will continue on this guy to, give it the full treatment. Thank you very much, Miller. Glad you like it. Neopathogen, yeah, absolutely. And that's why I love the idea of cutting up my thoughts um, and practice these things. Like in my old CG Master Academy class, I gave them a full span of steps like thumbnail, line art, combination, render, orthographics, and the more you practice each step, the more you can put them into chunks, and then your process will be shorter. And then the more you practice that process, you can put those into chunks, and your process will be even shorter. And that's how you practice efficiency. And the same goes with technical aspects, like how good you are at painting, which steps do you need to do to paint. The more you practice it, the more you can chunk it together. Cheers, Concept Sam. All right, let's see. Let's see who we can raid. Who's online? Warmix usually does some pretty cool stuff. He does some weird line art. Not feeling it. What's So Much Monsters up to? He's just ranting away. Tim Remmers is doing 3D. Christopher Kant. I'm not feeling that one either. Let's go here. If you have any Eric Ricky, I would push the render. I would just push the render because I've already made the correct decisions. Oh. Someone doing a study. That's pretty cool. And it's the person's birthday. Right. Let's raid that person. Fu Wafi. Alright. Have a great day, everyone. Good night. See you guys tomorrow at the same time, like always. We'll continue painting this guy, this dark elf. All right. Short outro, then we switch to the raid. Bye, everyone.